good evening, and welcome to Edinburgh. We're at the southern tip of Texas to bring you exciting USL Championship soccer. And tonight, the Rio Grande Valley Toros entertain Miami FC. And glad to have you with us. I'm Mark May with Brian Smith, coming to you from beautiful HEB Park on ESPN Plus. And Brian, who are our players to watch here tonight?
Starting with the visiting Miami FC. It's a team looking to find a little bit of an offensive spark, and they'll look to that through their lone forward in this one, Kyle Murphy. He's got the team lead with 3 goals. He also leads them in total shots and shots on target. As the offense goes, so goes Miami FC. And Kyle Murphy is the key to that effective offense. On the other side, for the Rio Grande Valley Toros, another team looking to get their offense off to the right start. They'll look to the captain, Juan David Cabezas. Cabezas, a very skilled midfielder. He's got an assist on the year, but more than that, he creates chances for this team. 25 scoring opportunities off the foot of Cabezas so far this season. He also ranks very highly, 86% passing accuracy, 71% in the long pass. As this offense goes, it will probably lead off the foot of Cabezas this evening.
All right, yeah, Cabezas and Murphy. Murphy, no stranger to this stadium. He's a former Toro himself. We're going to check out the starting lineup in just a moment. Right now, you're watching USL Championship Soccer on ESPN+.
At HEB, we're inspired by Mexico. The colors, the flavors, and aromas. And we want to share them with you. So we created the HEB Mi Tienda family of products with authentic Mexican flavors. From savory marinated meats, frijoles and queso, to tamales, soft drinks, and more. HEB Mi Tienda brings you the traditional flavors you love. One more reason here, everything's better.
Why choose Lone Star National Bank for your business? Because no other bank does more to support local businesses. In fact, we are the #1 lender in the Valley to small businesses. We put money to work here in our community.
That helps our local businesses grow.
Creating more jobs.
And more opportunities for all of us.
Working together.
We do what the little banks can't and the big banks won't. Lone Star National Bank, the Valley's bank.
When it comes to our familia, we all have our own flavor and expression. At Tequila de Corralejo, we believe sharing our individuality is what makes gathering together so fun. Here's to those who stand tall and share their passion.
Espinos Tires on Farm 83 has been serving the Valley for over 30 years. We offer a wide assortment of tires, wheels, and auto parts. Let us build your dream vehicle with only $49 down. No credit required.
Did you know when you bank with Lone Star National Bank, you're investing in your community? By creating jobs that stimulate our local economy, creating success that we share with our community. In fact, Lone Star National Bank donates more money and more volunteers to more causes than all other area banks combined. We do what the little banks can't, and the big banks won't. Lone Star National Bank, the Valley's bank.
And welcome back to HEB Park. Brian, take us through the starting lineups.
Getting with Miami FC, they'll come out in a very interesting 6-3-1. 5 goals allowed last time out, so they'll focus a little bit more on the defense in this 6-3-1. As we mentioned, the lone forward in this one will be Kyle Murphy. Captain to start this one will be Paco Craig. He is on that back line defensively. On the other side for Rio Grande Valley, starting lineup will look like this. They'll be in a more steady 4-4-3. Marancio getting the start in goal. 3 forwards in this one as the Toros try to spark their offense in Wilmer Andres Cabrera, Ricky Ruiz, and Frank Lopez. Here will be your keys for those 2 lineups here from HEB Park. For the Toros, it's going to be about being able and willing to strike. They need to finish the chances they have. This is a Toros team that has had no shortage of scoring opportunities on the year. Where they haven't finished is in that final third. That's not an option tonight. They have to take advantage and score in those big moments. On the other side for Miami FC, if space is allowed, they have got to control that pace of play. If they can attack in an open space, they've got to take it. If they can close some space and prevent the Toros from finding room to operate in control, they have got to take advantage of that. This is a Miami team coming off, as we said, that 5-1 loss to Memphis, and a big part of that loss, they just allowed Memphis way too much room to operate and to pick them apart. Look for a much more aggressive defense performance from Miami in this one.
Yeah, last week Miami conceded 2 first-half penalties in that game as they quickly found themselves in a hole. And their goal scorer, Bolu Watifi Akinyori, who scored their goal last week, picked up a red card later on in that game, so he is not playing tonight. They'll have to find some offensive power from somewhere else. We're just about set for kickoff here. You can see Miami will be kicking off. They're wearing the aqua shorts with the aqua tops and the white numerals, and the Toros will counter with the orange tops.
Something else we'll want to watch in this one is the temperature out there on the field. Heat index to start this one will be 101 down here in Edinburgh, Texas. Two teams used to warm weather, but that heat can play an effect, especially as you're racing back and forth across this pitch.
Yeah, very hot tonight, not much humidity. But again, that would still even out for these two teams, both of them in tropical climates. Toros on the Gulf of Mexico and Miami on the Atlantic. And there's a chance for Miami FC early on. Moving into the 18, it's kicked out. And the Toros dodge an early bullet there. Now a chance here for the Toros as they move on the counter. That's Herrera passing it off to the right side. That's Frank Lopez trying to gain control. Up against Paco Craig, the expert defender. Now goes back to Cabrera, son of the coach Wilmer Cabrera. He's 22 years old. He'll find Ricky Ruiz. Ruiz will send it to the box. And an easy save there for the keeper, Adrian Zendejas of Miami FC.
They has read that really well. He's had the most of the starts for Miami FC on the year, and you see he very deftly comes out and breaks that one up before there's a chance for a bouncing ball in the box.
Zendejas been anchoring the team. I think this is his 3rd consecutive game to be playing, and as you said, he's had most of the starts this season.
Like Miami has 2 clean sheets on the year. They both have been credited to Zendejas. He's been that sure-handed keeper.
Toros, meanwhile, their keeper tonight for this 3rd straight game, Carlos Barancio out of Hermosillo, Mexico. There's Craig with the flick on. Get that ball out of danger, then it's sent upfield. Paco Craig, an outstanding defender for this Miami FC team, leads them in blocks and tackles won, duels won, and clearances. In fact, he's among the league leaders in clearances. Calling his name a number of times tonight, I'm sure. Gabriel Benitez, or rather Coronado. Robert Coronado loses the ball. It's sent in on the counter. A man tumbles down, and this is going to be a penalty kick. A penalty kick early on in the opening minutes. And Miami FC will have a chance to go in front early on.
No goal. No goal. Great opportunity for Miami, and that's what you get on a strong counter there. They took the best shot from Rio Grande Valley, applied some pressure, and coming down right there, placed that beautifully. Pimentel a little too aggressive as he tries to get down and challenge there. That's going to lead to an excellent opportunity. Point-blank range here for Miami.
Mark Segbers right there is the one who drew the foul off Pimentel. And taking the kick will be Kyle Murphy, team's leading scorer with 3 goals. Former Toro himself. For the 3rd straight week, Barancio will face a penalty kick. The 3rd straight home game, I should say. Here's Murphy. And a goal early on, and Miami FC jumps in front here in the 4th minute. 1-0 on top of Rio Grande Valley.
And that's a huge relief for Miami. You recall they gave up 2 penalty goals in the first half last week against Memphis. That kind of weighs on your head. You say, we gave up 2 goals way too quickly, though. We put ourselves behind in that one early. To be able to come down here, draw the penalty, and take a lot of pressure off. You see Barancio guessed left, kick went right from Murphy. Just like that, Miami's up 1-0, and now you can play pretty strongly into that 6-3-1. You've got defenders back. You do not have to press too hard in the midfield. Stand back, apply pressure, clear everything. Miami could ride this for a little bit.
And Murphy with his 4th goal of the season. Came in leading the team already with 3 goals. Now has 4. I noticed that Murphy there didn't put too much pace on that penalty kick. He was really going for the placement in that corner, wasn't he?
He certainly was, and that was, I mean, read beautifully by Murphy. He's watching the body language of Marancio, and as Marancio moves left, Murphy knows all he's got to do is just, or moves right, all he's got to do is place it left right there from his perspective. That's exactly what he does. You don't have to put a whole lot on it when you can get the keeper to guess the wrong direction. They're not going to be able to get back up and challenge back the other way.
So we have a free kick awarded to Miami FC. And another opportunity here for Miami FC. This one's brewing on the right side. That was Segber's trying to get control of it. Toros threw it out, or kicked it out of bounds. There'll be a throw in here for Miami FC.
It's been interesting here early, Mark, because you might have expected Miami to come in with a little bit of aggression, a sense of urgency, something to prove, but it's really been Rio Grande Valley that's been overly aggressive, drawing the fouls, putting themselves in some really precarious situations defensively.
The long pass there as they tried to hit Murphy. A little too far ahead. It'll be a goal kick here for the Toros. Miami FC has had their problems away from home. They've winless on the road this year in 5 tries. They do have 2 draws and 3 losses. Lost their last 2 road games. Hoping to change that around here tonight. If they can pull away all 3 points, they could move all the way up into a tie for 7th in the East. Indy 11 they'd be tied with. Indy 11 actually losing right now to Hartford. Free kick you can see awarded by the Toros. Here's Cabrera. Toros have some numbers at the top of the 18 if they can get it there. Now going to reverse the action as Cabezas sends it to the left. The play on there is Ian Settle. Settle joined a rare start here, just 26 years old. He's from Miami. Miami putting on some pressure, forcing the Toros, getting rid of the ball quick, not letting them sit on it. Long pass intended for Lopez. He's able to get there in time, but then it goes out of play to be Miami's throw-in. Lopez even taking out the corner flag there.
Looks like Lopez got a little bit of a hip check there against him, sent him flying to that corner.
That was Moises Hernandez out of Dallas. The hip check, and you can see Hernandez throwing it in there.
Different kind of clearance made there by Hernandez.
Those two settle. All the way back to Pimentel. Pimentel hasn't seen action in recent games. Early on in the season, he was a kind of a mainstay, but he just couldn't keep himself on the field, could he?
Yeah, picked up 2 red cards in the early going, and I think big reason why Wilmer Cabrera said he may need some time on the bench just to kind of get his head straight. Because when you're playing in a league like the USL Championship, red cards can really come back to hurt you, not only because it gives your opponent good scoring opportunities, but you find yourself missing matches. Matches had to be missed because of the red cards. Pimentel, as we've seen now in his 3rd year with the Toros, a very skilled defender, played on some top flight clubs in Mexico. Got to kind of find his way and adjust his game to fit better into this USL Championship in 2023.
Yeah, he's played on teams that won the Mexican League title. He's no stranger to championship clubs. I saw a moment ago that Toros had a long pass that was intercepted by the keepers in Dejas. Rahab Akwe now playing it for the Toros. Cabrera finds his captain Cabezas, who's forced to play it back. Pressure put on by Miami FC again. They can generate a turnover here. They can get a quick attack at the Toros' goal. Now here's a chance brewing. Hines was dispossessed there by Cabezas. Cabezas trying to work his way forward. Now the Toros begin their attack down the left side. Those two settle. Settle ahead to Ruiz. Ruiz, keeper's out there. Keeper got a touch on that. Ruiz sends it inside, and Craig is there to clear it. Oh, that was very close opportunity there, and the keeper are taking a little bit of a chance there to come out there, but is able to make the save.
That shows the confidence Miami FC has on that back line defensively, and especially Paco Craig. He knew Zendejas was out of net. He does a spectacular job of hanging back, and as soon as that ball's in the box, Paco Craig had red light on it. He clears it away before anything else can happen there. That is a spectacular job defensively of helping your keeper when they find themselves out of net.
Trying to keep this in. Looks like they do not. But they're going to say corner kick here. Last touch by Miami, and it's going to be first corner kick of the match.
A good clearance there from that backside of Miami. They are protecting Zendejas really well, and that's not something he was probably going to have a good set of eyes on had it not been cleared away. Plenty of pressure right now by Rio Grande Valley.
Here's Cabrera to take the corner kick. Coming in low, and it was Akwe who tried to redirect that toward the net. Couldn't quite get the touch he wanted. It'll be goal kick. Certainly that has to look a little bit promising for the Toros.
They had 3 pretty good opportunities on that possession. Good clearances from Miami kept those from materializing. But if you're Rio Grande Valley, you like having opportunities. That's been the mark of this offense all season long for Rio Grande Valley. They get chances. They've just got to find ways to finish. And here again, we're seeing some pretty good early chances.
We saw the Toros have come out aggressively before. They did that in their last home match against Charleston Battery on May 27th. Also saw it against Tampa Bay before that, and New Mexico United before that, but hasn't produced victories for them. They're still looking for their first home win. Only 4 points in 7 home matches so far this season for the Toros. Coronado pass it off. Now it's into the box. Goes all the way through, and this is going to be a goal kick. It's Ruiz who's chasing that down. Ruiz may be shaken up a bit.
Looked like he got his ankle turned as he tries to come under Stanley there. You take another look right here. So Ruiz tries to get in under Stanley. Yeah, and that right ankle just kind of catches the turf and twists under him.
You can see him a big stretch there on that right leg. He's in obvious pain here.
They'll beckon the trainer out. He had all the weight on that right foot as he planted and then tried to sweep the left foot under Stanley to make a play there. But the problem is, when you want that foot to finally slide, it didn't slide. Those cleats had really grabbed, and so all you can do with your body weight carrying that direction is just watch that ankle and hip kind of fold under him.
You can see players taking an impromptu water break here. Coach Wilmer Cabrera looking on in his 4th year as head coach of the Toros. A former Colombian international. And he was a defender. His son, Wilmer Cabrera, 22 years old, is a forward.
You may notice Rio Grande Valley are in those orange kits on the evening. RGVFC wears the orange tonight as a part of their #WearOrange campaign. This is in observance of National Gun Violence Awareness Month. The Toros' entire organization elected to wear these non-traditional orange away kits here at home to highlight their effort and invited attended fans to join in wearing orange apparel where possible. A big part of what makes this Toros franchise just so special here in the Rio Grande Valley, the way they contribute to these initiatives here at home.
It's just their 4th game this season wearing the orange kits in their first year at home. Like you said. So back underway now. Here's Craig. Top defender on this Miami FC team. Miami FC again trying to probe down that right wing. This time they lose control out of bounds. And a throw in here by Robert Coronado from Abra, California, 26 years old defender. Finds its way all the way to Nadarce. Nadarce out of Havana, Cuba. He and Frank Lopez, both from Cuba, both in the starting lineup here tonight. This possession there by number 6, Moises Hernandez. Now we've got a free kick award to be for Miami FC.
And to look at what occurs here, you see Wilmer Cabrera trying to come in from behind, gets his feet caught up there with Telfer. Draws the quick foul.
But here's a chance in the box now. Ball knocked away before a shot could be taken, and Akwe will bring it back up.
That's some physical defense right there by the Toros, because he was in a great spot to try to challenge Marancio head on. Those defenders for the Toros come in, they kind of sandwich him and allow Marancio to just punch that one away.
Ball was too far ahead for Frank Lopez, who was trying to run onto that for the Toros. That'll be Miami FC's ball once more. We're through 15 minutes. 1-0 our score. Ryan Murphy with a penalty kick back in the 4th minute. The difference right now. See Hernandez able to work his way through trouble. Now it's to the foot of Stanley. Stanley will send it down, but no one there running onto it for Miami. Marancio will come out to get it.
It looked like Stanley wanted to try to put a little bit of a bend into that, kind of curve it around the defender and get it back to the feet of Telfer. That one just kind of carried straight into no man's land.
Toros beginning tonight in 11th spot in the Western Conference. The win tonight could move up to 9th, tied with New Mexico United. That would put them just outside the playoff bracket. And it would snap a 3-game losing streak that they entered with tonight. Miami regaining possession. That's Cabral. It's it to his teammate Thorne. It squeezes away from Thorne. It goes to the foot of Nadarce. And Toros will begin the attack once again. Toros have 2 shots so far, looking to generate a third here, taking their time on this build-up. Cabezas now to Ruiz. Ruiz with 3 goals in all competitions. The leading goal scorer for the Toros. Coronado tries to send it in. It's blocked in front by Segbers. And we may see our first booking here. Going to call for the trainer. That's Ruiz once more.
See Ruiz trying to come in from the backside here. Coronado applies some pressure. Ruiz sticks that leg out, ends up tripping, breaking up the attack in that manner. So Ruiz down, being checked on for the 2nd time in about 5 minutes of play. On top of that, it looks like he may end up earning a booking once he's back to his feet.
I've noticed officials don't like to show the card to a player who's laying down. It's almost like kicking sand in your face. So they wait till the player is up on his feet, and then they'll officially administer the booking.
Looks like we're going to get a substitution in Rio Grande Valley. That's Davila.
Yeah, it's a bit surprising that Davila, he's normally a starter, but Coach Cabrera looking to bring him off the bench here tonight.
Probably a good moment to do so here. Ricky Ruiz has been knocked around a little bit here early. Got Taylor Davila ready to come in to replace him. And indeed, that's what's going to happen. In comes Taylor Davila. Out goes Ricky Ruiz here in the 19th minute.
Davila, a former member of LA Galaxy 2, has 2 goals this year from California. Leads the team in chances created. 22. This will be a free kick for Miami FC after the booking on Ricky Ruiz. Ruiz's night is done. Got the start tonight. You saw he got shaken up badly 2 occasions here in the first 20 minutes. By the way, this is just the 2nd meeting between these two. They met for the first time last year, a 1-0 Toros win. This is the first time that Miami FC has been to Edinburgh. You're wondering, 1,117 miles separate these two tropical locales, Miami, Florida, and Edinburgh, Texas. That is if you're flying straight over the Gulf of Mexico.
As the crow flies, as
yes,
they say.
As the crow flies. Better be a pretty energetic crow, too, over the ocean. Now, if you drive, it's an extra 400 miles. Demons out. We'll send this over to Aquay now. Rose trying to work it upfield. Trying to get to Lopez. Lopez, the Cuban, didn't quite get to that first, but it was Craig who headed it out of bounds, giving Miami a chance to set up their defense. Here's Seto, midfielder out of Miami. Finds Cabezas, the Colombian. Now Davila with his first touch. Inside it goes. This is Seto. Top of the 18, a shot and save made there by Zendejas. Good positioning there by the keeper.
Once again, a fine job defensively by Miami FC. That was placed pretty nicely to Seto. He does a nice job of turning on his heel, putting himself in a position to strike. Didn't get enough on that, I don't think. That was not moving as quickly as he wanted toward net. Zendejas just saw it the entire way. All he has to do is come in and put those big mitts on it.
Zendejas out of Chula Vista, California. Another opportunity here. Cabrera into the box. Here's a chance. Shot, and it's high over the bar. Opportunity there for the Toros was beckoning, and that was Seto with his second opportunity in as many minutes.
Seto perhaps just a little too excited there. That ball slips all the way through the box, ends up at his feet. You see a pretty good move here by Cabrera to bounce it in off a couple of shoulders, and Seto comes in on a sprint, just puts a little bit too much on that. You want a little more patience there from Seto if you're the Toros. Let him settle the ball. He didn't have a lot of pressure against him. He had time to kind of settle it at his feet. Instead, he tries to take that strike from a sprint. Because of that, he floats it just a little high.
2 shots on goal so far for the Toros, one by Miami FC. 22nd minute, just almost halfway through the first half. And Kyle Murphy's goal, the difference right now. There's another opportunity brewing for the Toros. This is Seto. Into the 18, it's headed out there by the defense. That was Stanley. Miami FC trying to get it out of their own end. Toros putting on a lot of pressure here. Toros finally do kick it out, but they have to surrender possession. Aquay able to turn it around and get the Toros attack brewing once more.
See the Toros really wanting to work off of that high side right now. They feed it down the middle to Cabeza several times. He's turning the other way, looking for either Coronado or Seto.
Darce there got it to Davila. Now inside to Cabezas. One marker on him, that was Thorne. Now Coronado. Again, they'll stretch it over to the left side. Trying to work a give and go. There's this Torres. Torres will slide the ball over to Seto. He's going to try to cross it now. It's blocked by Mines. And will go out for a throw in. Mines out of Richfield, Connecticut, just 23 years old. As we said earlier, it's hot on that pitch. It was over 100 degrees when we started here this evening. And Davila picks up a yellow card after that foul.
Again, just a little too aggressive there as he's going one-on-one with Telfer. Comes in just a little bit too hot. You get another look right here as he's closing in. Plays more of the body of Telfer than the ball. Easy call to make there for the official. That's now 2 yellows on Rio Grande Valley. We haven't even reached the half point of the first.
2 yellows on 4 fouls. This is Hernandez trying to work his way through, collided with Cabrera. And this might be a booking on him, and Hernandez is going to go in the books after he knocked over Cabrera.
And I think he gets that card not only for knocking Cabrera over in the foul, but it's what he does as a part of it. As he's taking Cabrera down, he's got those forearms up, and he kind of buries the forearm right into the neck of Cabrera as he's driving him down. Saw several Toros threw their hands in the air immediately. What's going on out here? First yellow on Miami.
That's second on the season on Hernandez. So we see it there one more time. Oh yeah, you can see his left arm comes up. And this team, Miami FC, no strangers to bookings. They came in with 34 yellow cards tonight. That's tied for 6th in the USL Championship. They have one player on their team with 6 yellows. That's 2nd in the league. Here's Lopez. Lopez will send it off to the left side to Coronado. They'll try to start that attack again with Seto over in the left wing. Forcing Miami to chase the ball. Now Cabrera. Unable to get turned. He'll find Nodarce on the right side. Nodarce into the box. And kicked out there by the defense. Well, it was a superb touch there by the defender, Callum Chapman-Page. Sent back to Zendejas, and he'll kick it into a safety area. Talented defending on this Miami FC club.
Phenomenal defending. I've been extremely impressed with not only the efficiency of this defense for Miami FC, but their ability to really read those attacks as they're developing and get to a spot where they can challenge and get a good clearance.
There's no Darce once more. Didn't quite have the shot. Stanley wouldn't give him the angle. Now Cabezas will give it a try. Trying it for Lopez. Lopez has it kicked away by Thorne. Akwe will send this one. And Nodarce catch up to it. He does. He'll send it inside. Popped up in the air. Zendejas. And once again, Miami FC bending but not breaking. Talked about the Toros and their route when it comes to getting goals. Come into tonight with 3 straight shutouts.
In fact, they've been held scoreless for 321 minutes headed in. That's getting eerily close to 350 right now.
Definitely a streak they want to break before the night is done. Opportunity here for Miami FC. This is Thorne on the move. Excuse me, Mines on the move. He's dispossessed, and Davila has it now for the Toros. And they'll counter. Too far ahead for Seto. Kind of held up his hand to say, hey, it was on me. I wasn't ready. And now Miami FC will begin. Miami FC's been rather quiet since that 4th-minute goal. That penalty kick, their only shot so far in the game.
Really been relying on their defense, and no surprise there. You come out in the 6-3-1, you're going to rely on your defense pretty heavily.
Chance here for Telfer between 2 defenders. He'll find Murphy, former Toro, to his teammate Stanley. Crosses it, it's headed in front, and it will go out, but this will be a corner kick here for Miami FC.
That was a nice a nice counter for Miami. You see there, we're talking about how they've kind of relied on their defense to set the pace. That time the Toros gave them a little bit of room to operate. Miami pushed it to the edge. Got a pretty good cross into the box.
Be the first corner of the match for Miami. And this will be Gabriel Cabral out of Brazil to take the corner kick. 26 years old. All the way to the far post. Header back inside, but goes out. And it'll be goal kick here for the Toros. Or will it? No, it's going to be another corner.
Yeah, I think that was headed by Miami, but deflected off the back of a Toro. Little pinball action there.
Toros will have to set up the defense once more. It'll be a corner from the far side. This is going to be Stanley to take this one. Eden Stanley out of Columbia, Illinois. And inside, it's Dortis who gets the first touch. Mine sends it back to Stanley. And then Torres on top of him would not let him cross the ball. Progression there by the former U.S. international player. Longview, Texas. See Mines right there out of Ridgefield, Connecticut, 23-year-old defender. Segbers, who's from St. Louis, will throw this in. Out of Stanley. Moises Hernandez, chip it. A weak touch there by Coronado, goes to the foot of Segbers. Segbers kind of work his way around Settle, goes out of play, and it's going to be a goal kick.
That was some fantastic dribbling there by Segbers to work around the defender. Then once he gets around it, he can't really do much with it, ends up playing it off the side of his foot. Not going to see a much better job of dribbling under pressure right there. He's got the defender to his left. He's got the outline to his right. Somehow finds a way to dribble around, but just cannot get the cross he's looking for.
And wondering if this might be a hydration break right now here after 30 minutes complete. It's 1-0 in favor of Miami FC.
RGV FC Toros are on a hydration timeout.
Got a kind of a sea of orange out there today.
June the 21st. RGV FC Toros.
I think if you're the Toros, you'd love to see a sea of shots right now. Find yourself down 1-0. It's been an interesting way to start this half for Rio Grande Valley. True to their form all season long, they've been the aggressor. They've had the time of possession in their favor. That foul in the box by Eric Pimentel early allowed the early goal from Murphy to put Miami up 1-0. From there, the Toros have had a couple of pretty good opportunities, but again, they've not been able to finish, find themselves in a position to pull even.
Yeah, possession on the year, the Toros have generally controlled it 54% of the time. And Miami FC, one of those teams that is comfortable without the ball. They're about 47%. We were talking about shots earlier. The Toros averaging over 12 per game. That's 11th in the league. They're right about in the middle. And then Miami FC is just one up from the bottom, just barely over 8 shots per game they generate.
Toros, it's been all about finding ways to finish. Said they're on the higher side of the USL Championship in shots on target. They're getting opportunities. What they've not been able to do with consistency this year is finish those opportunities by putting it into the back of the net. Well, on the other side, it seems like every time the ball bounces in favor of their opponent, as we've seen with Miami FC on the evening, it seems to find its way into the net.
Yeah, I mentioned shots per game. They're tied for 11th, but in total goals, they are 23rd out of 24 teams. Like to your point, they're just not able to finish. Hopefully, they'll be able to turn that around tonight. They're going to come back and beat this Miami team. Miami themselves looking to snap a 2-game road losing streak. And in fact, hope to get their first win on the road all season. Came in at 0-3 with 2 draws.
It's kind of an interesting dichotomy here. Miami team that's yet to win on the road, Rio Grande Valley Toros team that's yet to win at home. One of those two teams will get a win in the proper column on the evening, assuming we don't end up with a draw. But right now, Miami up 1-0.
Goes to Paco Craig out of England, 30-year-old defender. They work it back to Chapman Page, and then turning around, there's Cabral. Ball lets to pass it back, and Miami FC taking their time on the build-up here. Got the 1-0 lead, something they're not used to. Last week falling behind against Memphis 901. 5-1 loss. Toros, meanwhile, lost out in California against Orange County 2-0. Chapman Page off to his teammate Segbers. Segbers appears to be one of those box-to-box players. We're seeing him back on the back line, and we'll see him go up for the attacks as well. We're going to have a free kick here awarded to Miami FC. It looks like a Nadarse committing the foul on Stanley.
Look at it right here. Stanley tries to cut in. Nadarse steps out. Doing so creates quite a bit of contact there. Easy call for the official to make.
Hernandez once more. He's out of Dallas. Quick passing here by Miami FC. Toros surrounding, converging on Hernandez. It works. They get the turnover, and Lopez has it. Lopez off to the races here a little bit. Finds the open space. Aceto running onto it. A couple of guys in the box, including Torres, but couldn't get it there as it's cleared away by Thorne.
A really nice look at the speed of Frank Lopez there. The ball is at his feet. He's got room to operate. See, he puts the hammer down. He's off to the races. Perhaps sent that a little bit too wide to Ian Seto. He'd like to have placed that more toward the edge of the box and allow Seto some space to clearance. But those extra steps he has to take out into open space gives Miami FC some time to get back.
That affects his angle too, doesn't it?
It certainly does. The wider you get out there, the worse your angle is for a clean cross.
This goes around to the left side. Coronado, he'll send it into the box, goes all the way through. Looks like they had Lopez there, was kind of parked in front of the goal mouth. He couldn't get to it, but it will be a throw-in now for Miami FC.
You're not going to get a much deeper throw-in than this. When that ball was trailing right down the line, so Hernandez is going to make this throw-in, say it from the inch line, essentially.
Headed by Nadarce. Toros trying to generate a turnover here, and they do. Torres has it popped away from him. A terrific open field tackle by Chapman Page. Toros tried again. This is Lopez, unable to get turned. It goes around to Seto. Seto with pressure put on by Segbers. It's over 10 minutes and some stoppage time remaining here in the first half. MAFC scoring early on in the opening 5 minutes off a penalty kick by Kyle Murphy. We mentioned how Murphy's the next Toro, but there's a couple other players that are former Toros too on that Miami team.
Yeah, we haven't seen him yet on the evening, but Michael Salazar, the midfielder, and Christian Sorto, the forward, find themselves on this Miami FC roster. Sorto, the most recent Toro. He was on this Toros team during the 2021 season.
Saw a hard shot there by Cabezas a moment ago. It was blocked in front. Now settle with it. Goes to Davila. And now we've got injured players, stoppage.
Look, Juan David Cabezas, a little shaken up.
And tonight we'd like to welcome Luis Espinosa, director of the
See, he's got his shin guard actually out in front of him there.
The shin guard or his captain's armband?
It is a warm one. You see if perspiration on these two teams. They've already had one water break that came about 6 minutes ago of game time. Looks like Cabezas may be cramping. They're working on that upper right thigh.
A veteran mainstay there at the midfield spot for the Toros.
Looks like Juan David Cabezas is going to come out. Coming in for the Toros will be Thomas Retendale, 21-year-old Argentinian, who will replace the captain in the midfield.
So Coach Cabrera has twice had to use substitutes here in the first half for injured players.
But the captain's armband now belongs to Eric Pimentel, the backline defender.
A couple of the senior members of this Toros team. Pimentel, a member of the team last year, 32 years old. 5'10" defender out of Mexico. There you see Retendale out of the USL Academies from Argentina. Take another look at that. There's the hard shot we saw. It's blocked in front by Cabezas. Then yeah, it looks like he tweaked something right on that, didn't he?
Immediately grabbed that right thigh after taking that kick.
And here, back to live action. Here's Cabrera moving in, has some space. Shoots, it's deflected, and it's a goal! The streak is over, and the Toros are on the board, and we're all tied up here at HEB Park.
Spectacular strike there for Wilmer Andres Cabrera. And what a big moment. Miami FC had done such a spectacular job defensively. They stayed spaced well. They really kept the Toros out of good striking positions. That one little bit of a hiccup, they gave Cabrera space. He moves right across the face of the box and places that one on a rope right past the keeper. Zendejas makes a good job of jumping out to cover, but that gentle deflection puts it back in. Now these two teams are knotted at 1.
Yeah, it looked like it might have gone wide, but it deflected off a defender a little bit to the inside. It was just enough to catch the inside of that far post. And we're all tied at 1. I know that has to be a big relief for this whole Toros team. Last time they scored was against San Diego, and that was on the road back on May 13th, a 3-2 win at San Diego Royal.
That'll end their scoreless streak at 359 minutes. They will take that all day long, and perhaps one of the biggest goals they've had in a little bit, being their first one in over 350 minutes, is to get the equalizer here, put them back in an attacking position to try to pick up 3 points.
That's definitely game on now here at HEB Park. All tied at 1, last few minutes of the first half. Cabrera, by the way, getting his second goal of the season. And he came in leading the team in shots. Just hadn't really been able to finish or have the open opportunities. He was able to do it just a moment ago. Toros on the move here once more here. Thinking maybe they can move ahead here before halftime. Here's Davila. Plenty of space to work with. The pass, though, intercepted and then knocked away. Goes back to the keeper, Zendejas. Toros have numbers back, and that'll go out. It'll be Miami FC's throw-in. Goes to the foot of Stanley. Stanley, a 23-year-old defender. See, looking for that pinpoint pass. Here's a nice touch here forward. Keeper coming out and makes the save. Garancio anticipating that well. That was pretty well set up by Miami FC. Just didn't quite click.
I mean, that was dropped in beautifully, and it looked like Murphy was onside on top of that. Just really nice job of chipping that in. As you mentioned, Mark, Garancio read that well and immediately comes out to challenge. Ends up getting there first, preventing what was an excellent opportunity that had been developing for Miami.
Tested down by Ritondole, keeps it inside. Settle now with it. Sends it into the box. It was deflected a little bit. Tried to get it to Lopez. Stanley kicks it clear. Akwe with the header to his teammate Dudarce. The 41st minute now, tied at 1. Murphy a goal for Miami, and Cabrera the equalizer for Rio Grande Valley. Oh, it goes inside over the keeper and into the net. It's a goal. Toros take the lead 2-1. Frank Lopez puts the Toros in front.
He may be part Gumby. The stretch on that to work around Zendejas and to place that in a position where he can get a strike. And then a second look for Miami right there as they had a defender back that was going to have an opportunity to put a boot on that. And he whiffs in the process of trying to get a foot up. Slips right past. Lopez gets a chance to thank the fans. And that is a huge goal for Rio Grande Valley. I mean, look at this. Davila places that really well. Lopez bends to get a foot to it. And then you see the whiff there by Chapman Page as he comes on the backside, just does not make contact. Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. And the Toros, very, very fortunate with that outcome.
Lopez, his first goal of the year. Just barely got it to roll over Zendejas. And then, yes, that was Chapman Page. He whipped on it too. And we're tied at 1. By the way, with his second assist of the season.
Toros had struggled to score goals for quite a few moments. And then after passing the 350 mark, all of a sudden the goals are just coming left and right. 2 strikes in the span of about 4 minutes of gameplay.
And they have 4 shots on target, 2 of them in the back of the net. Good efficiency there on their offense.
Get a quick foul there called on Wilmer Andres Cabrera. Restart here for Miami FC. We're going to have some substantial stoppage time added to this one. Just confirmed for us once we reach the 45-minute mark, they are going to add 7 minutes of stoppage time. We are still a ways away from concluding this first half, but it's been all Toros over the last 6 minutes of play.
Yeah, we've had 3, or actually 4 stoppages, 3 for injuries, 1 for the water break. And it's a lot of extra time there. You see it there, 7 minutes to be added on. Goes into the box, and Barancio comes out to smother that one. Miami FC, still their only shot of the match so far was that penalty kick back in the 4th minute. And see, that lead is now gone as the Toros have come back with 2 late ones here and lead 2-1. Who's the most they've scored this season at HEB Park? Had 2 in a 2-2 draw with New Mexico United. That was back on May 5th. They'll have a whole second half to add to that total. Trying to get this ahead, and it's going to roll out and be a goal kick. Was Telfer they were trying to hit onto the ball. Couldn't quite catch up to it. And Barancio out of Hermosillo, Mexico, 24 years old, in his 3rd consecutive start in goal. Been a tough stretch for him. He's faced a penalty kick in 3 of his 4 matches. Including tonight. Toros on the move here. Send it to the left side, a lot of space to work with. Ritondole, first half substitute, works the ball up. Coronado plays it back to Seto. Seto in no hurry to give up possession. It'll go back to the keeper. And up here at halftime, we're going to have some highlights and also take a look at what's happening around the USL Championship, including some scores. 9 games in action tonight. That one last touched by Miami FC. Itondole. Nothing in front of him, he'll send it back. There's Pimentel now wearing the captain's armband. After the starter, Cabezas, went off with an injury mid-first half. Cabezas scored the tying goal, plays it back to Akwe. Now Pimentel will send it forward. The 2nd minute of stoppage here in the first half at HEB Park. Going to be a throw in by Segbers. 6'5" defender. Toros with some pressure, able to win possession. Here's Pimentel with it. The Toros will now stretch the field. A warm night here at HEB Park. Sun beginning to set. That'll cool things off a bit. It was 101 degrees at kickoff. Toros with the lead right now, looking for their what could be their first win at home this season. Still a whole second half of action to go, though. Long pass intended for Lopez is headed away by Craig. A chance in the open field. Here's Davila. Now Cabrera. Cabrera will move inside the 18. Finds Davila, his shot blocked in front. Cabral able to get in front of that one. Goes to Nadarse. And now to Davila with an opportunity here. Pops it up, and nobody there for the Toros, just over the head of Lopez, who was streaking toward the near post.
Davila got a little too far under that. He was trying to use his toe to just kind of chip that one up gently, hoping to find the head of Frank Lopez. You see here, a little too much on that, trying to get a soft touch. And that was a great spot. Frank Lopez was going to have a nice look at a header there if that one did not float.
Now moving into the 4th minute of stoppage. Miami FC kind of reeling here in the dying minutes. They've given up the lead. They don't want to give up any more before they head to the locker room. Craig with it, played over to the right to Chapman Page. He'll sprint forward. Getting the turn there is Mines. Mines goes down. Right for the referee, says play on. Cabrera now. Nice job chesting that one down. He's got Lopez to his left. 3 markers in front of him though, and he's dispossessed after Thorne challenged him. Davila with the intercept. Toros staying aggressive here, despite having the lead in the last few minutes of the first half.
That's going to lead to a really deep throw in here for the Toros. Pretty good job of challenging there by Thorne. Ends up having that one deflected off of his hip.
Arce throws this in. Cabrera. 2 markers, kind of pushed by Stanley there. I'll say last touched by Miami. Arce's throw in, intended for Lopez, knocked away by Hernandez. Goes to Torres, and he'll send it back so they can regroup and rebuild. The 5th minute of stoppage, 7 minutes planned. Torres. Out of Akwe, out of Ghana. Torres really stretching the field horizontally now as he finds Nadarse. Looking for a spot so he can cross it, instead forced to play it back. Here's another through ball attempt for Davila. Can't quite run onto it, and it's kicked out of play by Hernandez. Us going on the road next week. Miami FC will return home before they head back on the road. This is the 2nd straight road game for them. And we'll take a look at the schedules at halftime. We're at halftime now, and our score is the Toros 2 and the Miami FC 1. An exciting finish to the first half. 2-1 our score here at the break. We'll have a look at some highlights and notes from around the USL Championship when we come back. You're watching USL Championship Soccer on ESPN+.
At HEB, we're inspired by Mexico. The colors, the flavors, and aromas. And we want to share them with you. So we created the HEB Mi Tienda family of products with authentic Mexican flavors. From savory marinated meats, frijoles and queso, to tamales, soft drinks, and more. HEB Mi Tienda brings you the traditional flavors you love. One more reason here, everything's better.
Why choose Lone Star National Bank for your business? Because no other bank does more to support local businesses. In fact, we are the #1 lender in the Valley to small businesses. We put money to work here in our community.
That helps our local businesses grow.
Creating more jobs.
And more opportunities for all of us.
Working together.
Together.
We do what the little banks can't and the big banks won't. Lone Star National Bank, the Valley's bank.
When it comes to our familia, we all have our own flavor and expression. At Tequila de Corralejo, we believe sharing our individuality is what makes gathering together so fun. Here's to those who stand tall and share their passion.
Espinos Tires on FAR 83 has been serving the Valley for over 30 years. We offer a wide assortment of tires, wheels, and auto parts. Let us build your dream vehicle with only $49 down. No credit required.
Did you know when you bank with Lone Star National Bank, you're investing in your community? By creating jobs that stimulate our local economy, creating success that we share with our community. In fact, Lone Star National Bank donates more money and more volunteers to more causes than all other area banks combined. We do what the little banks can't, and the big banks won't. Lone Star National Bank, the Valley's Bank.
And we're back here at HEB Park. We're at the break, 2-1. Toros in front, and time for our halftime report.
Special thanks to our halftime sponsor, Live Oak Vodka, the official vodka sponsor of the Rio Grande Valley Toros. As we enter week number 14, let's take a look at our week 13 feature.
Are you ready? Ready for more of the game you love? Ready for more players and more teams? Ready for more stadiums, for more fans in more cities? This is a different league. The USL Super League. Built for the future of women's soccer. Bridging the journey from youth to pro, connected to the global game, and bringing it all closer to home. Are you ready?
We all have goals. But let's be honest, most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Welcome back here to HEB Park. Take a look at your team of the week here for week number 13. A couple of strong performances, but one that really stands out is our player of the week, Ronaldo Damas from San Diego Loyal. He came in as a second half substitution and picked up a brace as a part of a 3-goal performance in the second half by San Diego Loyal to draw a 3-3 draw against San Antonio FC at Toyota Field last Saturday. A second half brace is certainly a phenomenal performance as you see him joining his teammates of the team of the week. A couple other important news and notes to consider. USL Championship just renewed their deal with SiriusXM. Since 2020, the SiriusXM FC channel has been the home of the USL Championship, airing a game of the week across the U.S. and Canada. Future coverage is expected to include select games from the inaugural USL Super League season. USL XM FC is available to subscribers nationwide in their cars on channel 157 and on the SXM app. Talked about San Diego Loyal and their player that made the team of the week. They've got some important news as well to consider. They'll face European opposition for the first time in club history when they take on Germany's Borussia Dortmund at Snapdragon Stadium. That will be Thursday, July 27th. This unique feature will give the American fans a first-hand opportunity to see U.S. international player Giovanni Reyna be in action with Dortmund across Marco West. Big performance there for the USL Championship to see that performance elsewhere.
And also the Richmond Kickers out of USL League One will have a friendly on July 18th against the 31-time Guatemalan champs Comunicaciones FC. And that'll be July 18th at City Stadium in Richmond. Also, Brooklyn has been awarded a USL League One franchise, and they'll begin play in 2025. So the Lords of Flatbush will be making a comeback here pretty soon in just a couple of seasons at League One.
As we mentioned a couple of moments ago during the first half, you may notice the Toros are wearing those orange kits on the evening. There's a reason for that, as RGVFC is featuring those orange kits tonight as a part of their Wear Orange campaign, observance of National Gun Violence Awareness Month. The Toros organization has elected to wear those non-traditional orange away kits here at home at HEB Park for a very important reason. They're doing so in support of this community and to highlight the effort of inviting fans to join them in wearing orange in support wherever possible. We talked about it, Mark. A phenomenal part of this Toros team in the community is the way they support initiatives such as this. Take a look at your schedule across the USL games in action right now. Final between Indy 11 and Hartford as they go 1-1. Pittsburgh just finished a 2-0 victory over Charleston. Elsewhere around the league in the 68th minute, Tampa Bay has the 2-1 lead over New Mexico. That could have a big outcome for Rio Grande Valley if that lead continues. Memphis is up 1-0 over Louisville. And as you know, Rio Grande Valley has the 2-1 lead over Miami FC. Here's what that means for the standings around the USL in this one. See, the Toros find themselves near the bottom of the West, but could have a nice jump up the standings. Here's a look at the East first, though. As you see, their opponent on the evening right now, Miami FC, down at 11th. If they could get a win, they could propel themselves high as 7th there with Indy 11, who we mentioned did not pick up a victory earlier on in the evening. On the other side for the West, Rio Grande Valley finds themselves, much like Miami, down near the bottom of the West, but they could end up with 3 big points here if this lead would continue. Those 3 points would pull them even with New Mexico United, who's currently losing in their match on the evening, and that puts them just on the cusp of the USL playoffs. As we mentioned, top 8 teams make it. Right now, sitting in 8th would be Phoenix Rising, who would be 2 points ahead of both New Mexico and Rio Grande Valley.
And they'd also be trailing Colorado Springs by 2 points, and that'll be their opponent coming up on June 21st. That's a Wednesday night game here at HEB Park. And we're at halftime right now. We're going to take a break. We'll be back with some highlights and some stats in just a moment. You're watching USL Championship Soccer on ESPN+.
At HEB, we're inspired by Mexico. The colors, the flavors, and aromas. And we want to share them with you. So we created the HEB Mi Tienda family of products with authentic Mexican flavors. From savory marinated meats, frijoles and queso, to tamales, soft drinks, and more. HEB Mi Tienda brings you the traditional flavors you love. One more reason here, everything's better.
Why choose Lone Star National Bank for your business? Because no other bank does more to support local businesses. In fact, we are the #1 lender in the Valley to small businesses. We put money to work here in our community.
That helps our local businesses grow.
Creating more jobs.
And more opportunities for all of us.
Working together.
Together.
We do what the little banks can't and the big banks won't. Lone Star National Bank, the Valley's bank.
When it comes to our familia, we all have our own flavor and expression. At Tequila de Corralejo, we believe sharing our individuality is what makes gathering together so fun. Here's to those who stand tall and share their passion.
Espinos Tires on Farm 83 has been serving the Valley for over 30 years. We offer a wide assortment of tires, wheels, and auto parts. Let us build your dream vehicle with only $49 down. No credit required.
Did you know when you bank with Lone Star National Bank, you're investing in your community? By creating jobs that stimulate our local economy, creating success that we share with our community. In fact, Lone Star National Bank donates more money and more volunteers to more causes than all other area banks combined. We do what the little banks can't, and the big banks won't. Lone Star National Bank, the Valley's bank.
And welcome back to HEB Park in Edinburgh, Texas. 2-1 our score, and time for some highlights, Brian.
Said it was a warm evening to start this one, and the match was red hot early on. Kyle Murphy with the penalty strike here. This put Miami up 1-0 early. It looked like momentum had shifted in favor of Miami, a team coming off of a pretty rough loss against Memphis last weekend. But coming back the other way, Rio Grande Valley late in the first half took advantage of Wilmer Andres Cabrera. Look at the move he makes here. Dekes 2 defenders, finds himself right across the face of the net, and look at that strike. A little deflection helps him. That pulled this one even at 1-1. Give it a couple moments later, though, and Rio Grande Valley was moving. Tyler Davila, a late substitution, comes in, places a spectacular ball for Frank Lopez. He's able to bend himself around, put a toe to it, and ends up beating it past the defense. Hugs all around for Toros fans as Rio Grande Valley broke a 350-plus minute scoreless streak for 2 in the first half and find themselves up 2-1.
Classic poacher's goal, wasn't it, there for Lopez?
Good strike for Rio Grande Valley. We look at our first half stats, and there's some interesting stories to be talked about here. As we mentioned, Rio Grande Valley, by far the aggressor, finding themselves up 2-1. They had the advantage in time of possession, 66% to 34%, also outshooting their opponents 7-3. 10 touches in the box for the Toros, just 5 by Miami FC. Third entry, so entries in that attacking position. Rio Grande Valley ended up with 55, just 3 by Miami FC. You see the Toros had themselves a strong performance in the first half, able to find 2 goals along the way. Passing accuracy also kind of jumps off the page mark, 87% for Rio Grande Valley, just 76% for Miami FC. And in fact, in the long game, Rio Grande Valley just short of 80% in their long passes. Miami around 60%.
Yeah, that 87% for the Toros, that's incredible to me, because often maybe your team leader has around 87%, but for an entire team to average that is phenomenal. But shows that, yeah, the Toros playing really well, not giving up the ball very much. Corner kicks 2-1 in favor of Miami, and fouls, been 7 called on the Toros and only 2 so far on Miami FC.
And worth mentioning, cards as well was a big part of the first half. Saw the penalty kick gave Miami their only goal of the game. 3 yellows against Rio Grande Valley in the first half, only 1 against Miami FC. That may be something to watch here in the second half.
Yeah, Taylor Davila, who came on as a first half substitute, he picked up a yellow card in that first half, and he's still out there, so he's one that has to be careful. The other 2 that picked up yellows have come off the pitch. And 1 player booked for the Miami FC, and that was Hernandez. And I've had no word of a substitute as yet, so I imagine he'll start this second half. So Miami FC, with all 5 of their subs remaining as we hit the second half, Toros had to use 2 due to injuries to Ricky Ruiz and Juan David Cabezas in the first half, and so they have 3 subs remaining. First time in a while they've got a lead here at the half of 2-1.
Look, we do have some substitutions for Miami FC to start this second half. I see Christian Sorto out there, number 99, former Toro. Did not get the start in this one. He's out there. He replaced on the pitch.
Well, Moises Hernandez, they did take off. They made 2 subs, actually. Number 7 coming in, Claudio Repetto out of Italy. We'll find out who the second player to come off was, but yeah, they're going to start off this second half using 2 subs, and both teams now will have 3. Checking when the Toros lead at halftime. They are unbeaten this year when they have the halftime lead, with 2 wins and 2 draws. See if that holds up. Here with an entire second half to go, Rio Grande Valley on top by a single goal. It's Frank Lopez with the go-ahead goal. Oh, and it was number 20 who came out. That's Ben Mines.
You mentioned Mines and Hernandez come out. And then Jose Torres down very quickly, holding that left shoulder. And they're going to beckon the trainer out quite quickly. You see Torres in some considerable pain there. That could be a huge loss for Rio Grande Valley. Jose Torres, a phenomenally experienced U.S. international player. See what occurs here.
Seeing just the tail end of it there, but it looks like he took a shot in the right shoulder.
As we were mentioning, Torres, a very experienced U.S. international player, had number of caps with the U.S. men's national team. Look at the replay here.
Collision with Paco Craig, it looks like. No, I'm sorry, that's
Kyle Murphy.
Yeah, the goal scorer for Miami.
Former Toro. For Rio Grande Valley, Jose Torres has been that kind of settling presence in the midfield along with Juan David Cabezas. If you need somebody to kind of be a pressure relief for you when the defense really starts to apply, Torres, very experienced, but you see there just trying to make a play on the ball there. Runs into a mountain in Kyle Murphy. Looks like Torres gets the worst of that collision.
Yeah, Torres only 5'6", 132 pounds. Murphy, meanwhile, a much more svelte 6 foot, 174 pounds.
Giving up 6 inches and about 40 pounds to Murphy.
And Torres, a former U.S. men's national team player, it's out of Longview, Texas. He's one of their better passers when it comes to the long passing accuracy. He can set up players on the far side of the field, 70%. Back underway now. Toro's playing with 10 on the pitch at the moment. Miami FC trying to take advantage of that. Pass by Repetto, who just came onto the pitch, and then Sorto had his first touch, a bad one. Thought he had a teammate behind him, and no one was there. Seto intercepts. Seto tried to push it forward, but no one there as he gets knocked down. This will be a free kick.
We should be getting a substitution here because they just walked Jose Torres back to the locker room. Expect the Toros to sub someone in his place any moment.
Yeah, you're right. He was on that far side of the pitch in the upper right corner of the screen. Is the way to the locker room. And yeah, they just simply, instead of having him go all the way back around to his team's bench, they took him inside. And Toro still playing with 10. Toros grabbed the lead in the 42nd minute. Off a goal by Lopez, a feed from Davila. Sorto pushes it back to Craig. Craig will try the left side. It's Chapman Page working his way up. Stanley will send it inside to Craig. A chance brewing here for Miami FC. Looking for that equalizer here early on. Segbers sends it forward for Murphy. Back to Chapman Page, and they'll work through Craig again. Craig at the center back. Stanley coming up. And ball's going to go out of play. Looking for the signal. I believe this will be a corner kick. Seemed to Darce right there. May have been the last man to touch it. This will be the third corner for Miami FC.
Like we have the substitution ready now for Rio Grande Valley as Eric Kisner in position to check in here. They make it 2. It looks like Cristiano Francois is also in position.
There's a header on target and a save made there by the keeper for the Toros, Marancio. First save of the match. There's a header by Chapman Page.
Look at Kisner and Francois over with the fourth official ready to check in.
Chance here for Miami FC, taking their time on the build-up. Still 10 players for the Toros. Trying to go inside. It trickles its way to Akwe. Akwe not wanting to take chances. He was under pressure. Did not want to send it back to his keeper. Found his way out of danger and got the ball upfield. Greg recovers and brings it back up for Miami FC. And now we've got a player shaken up for the Toros. Lopez is down.
There comes Kisner. He'll come in to replace Jose Torres, who went out. And Frank Lopez will come out here. He'll be replaced.
Yeah, by that's Francois coming in for him.
Cristiano Francois. So that'll leave the Toros with one substitution left.
Cristiano Francois. He's got a nose for goals. He has 2 goals, 1 assist this year off 18 shots. He's out of Haiti. His fellow Caribbean, Frank Lopez, who's from Cienfuegos, Cuba. See, he took a shot right there. That's why he's coming off the pitch.
Also checking in number 23, Christian Francois.
Say that was to the upper midsection.
See Coach Cabrera talking things over to Lopez. Lopez has the go-ahead goal right now. And he was just able to get a slight touch on after a feed from Davila into the box and got it over the keeper. It trickled into the net. His first goal of the season. He had 7 goals last year. Had some injury problems this season. Now we've got a free kick here awarded to the Toros.
Robert Coronado wrapped up the attacker there and kind of spins them around. That's one way to break up the attack, but not a way you're going to be able to do that without being admonished.
Correct myself, is Miami FC's free kick, not the Toros. Toros with possession now. Davila able to get turned. They'll fire to the left side. They got Riton Dole running onto that. He's got a lot of speed, just 21 years old, and he'll send it forward for streaking Francois. Francois unable to catch up to it. He had Craig marking him. But we got some speedsters out there on the pitch now, don't they?
And the Toros have been able to put a ton of speed in. Retondale is very quick. Cristiano Francois, perhaps one of the quickest forwards you're going to see here, SL. Even Eric Kisner, the defender, has got some real speed. We've seen several times this year where he's been able to build a counter and then go off to the races.
Davila trying to work his way through. He'll send it forward again, trying to get Francois. Running on to this one. He wins the race, shoots, and save made by Zendejas.
Talk about speed. That was a great look at the speed of Francois. He is a bus with no brakes when you slip that ball through, and that was just a straight foot race that he ran to the edge.
Like that, a bus with no brakes. Got to be a scary sight. Francois, a lot of speed we've seen on the last 2 attacks by the Toros. That last time Francois was able to outrace the defender to get a good hard shot at net. Zendejas had a good angle. Zendejas, a big player, 6'5", 185 pounds. '55th minute now, 2-1 our score. Toros on top. Haven't enjoyed a lead in a while, as they were shut out for 3 consecutive games coming into tonight. Sure, we're feeling a lot of less weight on their shoulders at this point. Still, they want to pull off all 3 points if they can. So does Miami, for that matter. Francois was thinking about running onto that one. Zendejas came way out of his box to make sure that didn't happen. This is onside on the left side. Who's Stanley running onto it from his fullback position. Now here's Thorne. Thorne trying to slip it inside to Segber. Segber's able to win the ball, send it in, and it's going to be a corner kick. As Kinsner had no choice but to try to deflect that ball, did not want to let it get through. This will be the 4th corner of the match now for Miami FC. This will be Stanley to take this kick. Stanley out of Illinois. Bit of an in-swinger and punched out there by the keeper, Marancio. Miami FC still on the attack here. Murphy has it kicked away from him as he tried to turn. Now it's at the foot of Francois. Francois off to the races. He's got a man to his right side. Francois into the 18, will shoot, and save made there by Zendejas. Got a little bit of a deflection there that I think caught Zendejas flat-footed. Dejas did well to save that.
That second half substitution of Francois has been really favorable for Rio Grande Valley. Coach Wilmer Cabrera may be onto something here. You bring in that speed of Francois in the second half against legs that have already been tried, and some good things are happening here for Rio Grande Valley. Call him player X right now because that speed has been dangerous.
The Segbers with it for Miami FC. Toros playing some inspired football here in the last part of the first half and early second half. It's this team from the East. This will be the only meeting between these two this year. Only the second meeting all time. Ball at the foot of the Italian, Repetto. Now to Segbers. Segbers has it kicked away from him as he was trying to feed Sorto. Now the ball bounces to the foot of Ritondole. Has Francois in front of him. They'll push it ahead. Francois with it. The Haitian moving in. Oh, nice little move there. And are they going to say offside? They're saying offside. I guess the initial pass to him.
It was a very late offsides call, if that's what they indeed say. Saw Francois just kind of throws his hands up. He was like, I made a football move with that ball, had a cup of coffee before that flag went up.
Time for a dehydration break, didn't you? 59th minute now. Miami FC on the attack. They need an equalizer. They'd love to have at least a point on the road after losing their last two road matches. Here's Craig. The 30-year-old defender out of England. Goes to Thorne. Miami FC content to play keep away for the moment. Forcing the Toros to expend energy, shifting their defense left and right. Segbers trying to send it ahead to Sorto now. Two markers converging in on that. Able to beat Sorto to the ball and Coronado with it. Oh, and this pass intercepted by Segbers. Chance for Miami FC. Segbers into the air, chips it. Headed out there by Nodarse. Not out of danger yet.
That may have been just off the fingertips of Menancio because it looks like we're going to get a corner here for Miami FC.
That was hard for me to tell if he was able to touch this or not. We see Nodarse with the header.
That looked like he gets it. That may have been deflected by Davila, perhaps?
Yeah, because it went high over the bar. Here's the corner kick. Picked away by the Toros. Francois trying to run onto this. And Sorto able to pop it away from him. Well, Miami FC able to generate 3 corners here in this second half. Still looking for more shots, though, as they have only 2 on target all match. Came in averaging just over 3 shots on target per game. And 14 total goals, or 15 now, counting tonight. The Toros came in with the second fewest goals in the league, ahead of only Detroit City. Here's Francois. Offside flag has gone up again. Toros happy to add 2 to their total tonight. They came in at -10 in goal differential, which was bottom of the league. As we had talked about, all those problems stemming from their inability to finish. That was one of your keys to the game, Brian.
Yeah, they had to find opportunities to strike and finish them there. As we talked about in the first half, this is not a Toros team that has struggled for opportunities. What they struggled for were opportunities they could finish. We've seen 2 phenomenal ones here in the first half for Rio Grande Valley. Wilmer Andres Cabrera able to bend one around the defenders and put it in, and then the Gumby-like performance from Frank Lopez to beat the defense and just trickle one in. Rio Grande Valley got perhaps 2 of their best goals of the year in those key moments.
keep the possession alive here for Miami FC. Now Chapman Page moving up into space, trying to draw defenders. Goes through Cabral once more. Now it goes into the box in front. Keeper comes out, a shot and a goal. And we're all tied up here in the second half. Miami FC has done it again.
That is Claudio Ribeto coming up in a big moment there. He's got Marancio directly in front of him. He's got Akwe hanging on his hip, and somehow he finds a way to weave between those two and slip the ball past. Talk about effort, effort, effort. I mean, look at this. Works around them both and finds the high left edge. Talk about a high-pressure strike. He's able to finish. We are now knotted at 2-2.
Finished with panache on that one. A hard strike by Repetto for his second goal of the season. And we're not done yet by any means. 2-2 our score. It looked like Murphy might have gotten an assist there as the ball seemed to deflect off him toward Repetto. He's able to fire it into the net.
A little slow restarting this one as the official went over to have some words with Segbers. Rio Grande Valley had actually started back up for a moment. The official blew it dead and then raced over for a quick conversation with Segbers.
Toro's trying to win the ball in the attacking half. It's Kinsner. Kinsner only 20 years old, out of Washington State. Came through the Seattle Sounders Academy, Youth Academy. Now Davila with it. Davila moving in, shot from distance. And over the ball. Bit ambitious there, is about 25 yards out. Thought he'd give it a go.
Davila has a pretty good leg, 2 goals on the year. You mentioned, Mark, that was probably a good 15 or 20 feet further out than you would expect a strike to come from, and he misses that well left. That does put some pressure on Miami. Now they've got to hang back and make sure they challenge on strikes even that far out. You never know what could happen on a deflection.
Ball squeezes by to Ian Settle. Now the offside flag has come up. There's the head coach in his second year, Anthony Pullis. Spent 12 years playing professionally in England. It's from Bristol. He's also played in the USL Championship with Orlando City about 10 years ago. And was a former assistant with Inter Miami in the Major League Soccer. Play on, says the referee. Settle wins the ball. He goes over to the right side. This is Nodarse. Cuban will pass it off to Akwe out of Ghana. Now back to Ritondole. Was trying to stretch the field a bit, and then they found a seam here for Settle, and now Francois has the ball. Francois into the 18, and a save made there by Zendejas.
And Zendejas read that beautifully, and that's textbook what you want to do as a keeper. You have an attack coming to that short side. Stay right on that pole. Make yourself as wide as you can, but protect the inside edge of the pole. That forced Francois to have to bring it back away from the net. And then all Zendejas has to do is just put a couple mitts on it and move the other way.
Yeah, it looked like he was trying to cross it, and Zendejas read that beautifully. Able to smother it. This is chipped too far ahead for Murphy. And Barancio comes out to get that one. Boros will start their attack from the back third. Kinsner. Now Ritondole with it. And he'll send it ahead for Francois once again. Chapman Page goes down. Play continues. Here's Francois into the 18. Up top, shot blocked in front. And it'll go to Zendejas. That was Cabrera's shot that was blocked by Cabral.
And Francois does a nice job of crossing that into a spot where Cabrera could make a strike on it, but a better job by Cabral of laying out and making sure he takes up as much space as he can That quick strike by Cabrera just did not have any place to go.
Yeah, that would have come from top of the 18, but it would have been from down the middle, which is always a little tough for a keeper because he has to wait for the shot to react left or right instead of favoring one side of the goal or the other. Miami FC, which was held to under 40% possession in the first half, done a better job of it in the second half, building up their attacks. It's led to a goal. We're tied at 2. Intercept by Seto, went back to Repetto. Repetto, the Italian, with the tying goal for Miami FC just a moment ago. Chapman Page wrestling for it. Goes out of play. It'll be Miami's throw in. About halfway through the second half now. Tied at 2. Been a fun, entertaining match between these two teams, both of whom know they need to get points to get back into the playoff chase. It's Francois with it. He's produced some magic in this second half, and Chapman Page, bit of frustration, is going to pick up the yellow as he just simply grabbed Francois and pulled him down.
Can't use that speed if you're not on your feet. Again, Francois has relatively fresh legs. Second half substitution, you've seen it. Rio Grande Valley has taken advantage of that here in the second half. They give him the ball in space, tell him to get off to the races. That was a nice job of putting that around Chapman Page, and as he tries to race by, Chapman Page says, my only option is to put you on the turf. That's exactly what he does there and earns the yellow in the process.
The Toros on the attack here. Both teams looking for the go-ahead goal. Ball squeezes to Thorne, and Miami has it back. Francois has been a real spark plug for this Toros team here in the second half. Segbers and Sorto exchange the ball. Now back to Chapman Page. Chapman Page, who's also an Englishman, along with his fellow backliner, Paco Craig. This is Segbers. Now Sorto. Sorto was a defender back when he was with the Toros primarily. He's listed as a forward here with Miami FC. It's going to be sent toward the box. Ritondole with the play, and then Kinsner clears it. Ball had a wild, wicked side-to-side spin on it. I think Ritondole had a little bit of trouble with it. Kinsner not taking any chances, send it clear. The 70th minute now. 2-2 our score. Segbers pushes it ahead for Sorto. Back inside. They'll reverse the attack now. Repetto. The brawl, and now it's back to Craig. Craig wearing the captain's armband for this Miami FC club. Both of these teams debuted back in 2016. But Miami started off in a different league. They joined the USL Championship in 2020. So relatively new to the USL Championship. A nice little touch there by Sorto. Sorto again. Miami FC trying to stretch the field a bit. It goes to Craig, moving up from his center back position. Trying to force the defense to commit to him. Still has it, now slips it through to Stanley. Trying to return it to Craig, it's kicked away from him. The brawl, slipping it to Sorto, turned to fire, but it was blocked in front by Kinsner. Miami recovers. So Stanley, another blocked cross attempt. That was Cabrera that time. And Miami will have the throw in. Chance now for the Toros. Intercept there by Thorne. He'll send it forward for Repetto. Going against Akwe. Moves inside, trying to maintain his balance. Coronado kicks it from him. And I think they're going to say a foul call that's going to be Toro's free kick.
After that ball slips away from Repetto, he ends up drawing the foul. Kind of puts a boot to Coronado as Coronado's trying to clear it.
Coronado with the game-tying goal back in the 62nd minute. After the Toros had a 2-1 halftime lead. But Miami's actually led once, and Toros have led once. Miami went ahead 1-0 on Murphy's penalty in the first half. Toros had 2 unanswered before Repetto scored about 10 minutes ago. There's a chance here, Cabrera. Dispossessed. Good play there, and a chance now. A lot of open space here for Miami FC. It's Murphy. Played for Cabral. A 4v6 right here. They enter the 18. Ball knocked away, go out for goal kick. I think Sorto trying to claim it was touched by the Toros. He's winning his argument. The referee pointing to the corner spot.
Akwe can't believe it. He wants to have his word heard in this situation.
Wants to appeal to a higher court, but there isn't one, is there?
Official's opinion is all that matters. And he says the corner.
This will be the 6th corner of the match for Miami FC. 4th in the second half. It'll be Sorto, former Toro, to take this kick.
Interesting here that Zendejas is playing way out for Miami. He's at midfield.
Was inside, deflects off a Toro player, Coronado, I believe, and this will be another corner kick. Yeah, Zendejas almost all the way up to midfield.
He was standing on the midfield line for a little bit there before dropping back.
Almost like in a sweeper roll. Well, Sorto will take another free kick here. Miami looking to regain the lead. This is flicked on and will go out. Flick on there by Settle. That'll be Miami's throw in. Entering the final 15 minutes of play. The final 15 have not been kind to the Toros. They've given up 7 goals this season in the last 15 minutes and scored only once. And they're taking right now a dehydration break. They had one in the first half, and now I'm sure a well-deserved one here in the second half. With just under 15 minutes to play. It's pretty hot out there on the pitch. You may have heard earlier, the Richmond Kickers will play a friendly against the 31-time Guatemalan champions Comunicaciones FC. They'll play on July 18th at City Stadium in Richmond. And then Brooklyn has been awarded a USL League One franchise. They'll begin play in 2025. We're going to take a look at the schedules now for these two teams, beginning with the Miami FC. What do they have coming up?
They've got quite a few strong performances ahead of them. They will continue this little road swing. 17th, they'll be at Loudon, or actually they'll be hosting Loudon. Then they'll hit the road for 2 at Monterey Bay, at Colorado Springs. Come home on July the 8th to host Phoenix Rising. We're heading back out on the road to be at Tulsa to face FC Tulsa on July 12th. On the other side for Rio Grande Valley, the schedule looks a little bit like this. They're actually going to play 3 of their next 11 at home. The big road swing ahead of them. It'll start 17th at New Mexico United. They're home for Colorado Springs on the 21st. 2 more on the road, June 28th and July 1st at Oakland Roots and Sacramento FC before coming home to face Orange County on the 8th. All those games right here on ESPN+.
Yeah, and that Colorado Springs home game on the 21st, that's a midweek game. That's on a Wednesday night. Rare midweek game for the Toros. And yeah, as you said, they've got 3 out of their next 4 on the road and 8 of their next 11 away from home after tonight. Puts the onus on wanting to pick up valuable points here at their home park. Miami FC has other ideas, looking for what could become their first win away from home this season. They can get the go-ahead goal and hold on to the lead. Segber's with it. Zetto closing in on him. Segber's forced to play it back to Chapman Page. They'll reverse the action. It goes to Craig now. Center back to Stanley on the left side. Pressure put on here by the Toros. Cabral going to run up and force the action. Trying to slip it through. Nice little one-touch into the box. Akwe there. No, there's a shot and a score. And Miami FC has regained the lead. Deftly passing by Miami puts them ahead 3-2.
And Ryan Telfer just being phenomenally strong in the box. He's one-on-one with Akwe, and he just manhandles his way into an attacking position. Ends up flicking Akwe off the ball, and then one-on-one with the keeper. He finds the angle, able to press that pass. I mean, just look at the effort here by Telfair. He gets that off the foot of Akwe, and one-on-one with Venancio. Says you're not going to stop this one. Low and wide. Miami FC 3 goals now. They're up 3-2.
And for Telfer, that is his first goal of the season. Out of Canada, 29-year-old midfielder. He earned that one. He wrestled away from Akwe, and by the time he did, then that forced Hermosillo to come charging out. Or Venancio, I should say. And Venancio unable to close the angle before Telfer could fire it in.
It's just a matter of who wants it more. And in that situation, Telfer wanted it more.
So once again, Miami FC has the lead. They led 1-0, fell behind 2-1, and now lead 3-2. Got 2 unanswered goals here in this second half. And now it's pressure time on the Toros. This goes ahead to Ritondole. This is onside. Sends it across, and it's going to be headed into safety by Stanley. It'll go out for a corner kick. This will be the first corner of the second half here for the Toros. Coach Cabrera looking on. Toros have gone through so many travails here in this season. Here's Davila. Davila sends it through. It's deflected. Popped up in the air. Zetto kind of half fans on it. They maintain possession. Cabrera into the box. And then flicked on by the defense. I think it was Craig who got it out of there. But the Toros, they had a 2-0 lead against New Mexico United. That ended up 2-2 against Tampa Bay and Memphis 901. All kinds of chances, but unable to score. Trying to get a tie here. There's a header across the box, trying to get it to Francois, just over his head, and Stanley clears it. Toros attacking fiercely here in the last 10 minutes. Francois to Davila. Slides it across to Ritondole. Coming up into the box. Akwe with a heavy first touch. Then Akwe goes down. Toros appealing for a penalty, but play continues. Coronado fighting his way for this ball. Won by Thorne. Coronado slow to get up. Miami FC on the attack. This is Repetto. Repetto tied the game at 2 back in minute 62. Lost possession there, or actually, I think he slid it out of play on purpose. He had an injured teammate. Is that Cabral? Yeah, number 8. Yeah, Cabral. It's out of Brazil, 26-year-old midfielder.
Fans on the video board right there. Thank you so much for coming out and joining us. Don't forget the next Toros match is Wednesday, June the 21st. The Colorado Switchbacks coming to town.
Hot night here on the pitch, even though it's almost 9 o'clock Central Time. It's still pretty hot out there on that pitch. 3-2 our score. Goals for Miami FC by Murphy, Repento, and Telford. Murphy also with a helper in this game. And then the Toros have had goals from Cabrera and Lopez.
Looks like Cabral will come out. He'll be replaced.
Dennis Duwuna?
No.
Dennis Duwuna, he's from Ghana, 23 years old.
Be some fresh legs out here for Miami FC as they protect this 3-2 lead. You were talking about heat a moment ago. Mark, it was 101 to start, still currently 93, 66% humidity. It's warm, it's moist. Cabral has done quite a bit to help his team working in the midfield. He's going to get a rest here. Miami finds themselves 8 minutes of playing time, not counting any stoppage time that's added on, away from picking up 3 pretty big points here in the USL Championship.
It'll be a big win for Miami FC if they can hold on. It'll be their first road win of the year. It'll be a comeback win at that, as they were down 2-1 at one point. Long ball is going to be intercepted by Zendejas as they were trying to hit Cabrera down the right side. Cabrera, who scored earlier tonight in the first half, ended a lengthy scoring drought for the Toros. Toros now trying to end a different streak, trying to end their 3-game losing streak. Hoping for at least a draw at this point. 84th minute now. Davila able to get turned. Finds Coronado. He'll slip it to Seto. Trying to get it to Francois, but intercepted by Chapman Page. A bit of words exchanged there. They're going to say this is Toro's throw-in. Chapman Page felt it was his team's throw-in. Coronado will play this back. And Kinsner will slide it into the middle. Pimentel to center back. Ritondole with a heavy touch. It's kind of a tough ball to handle as he was right there on the touchline. The Toros regain possession. Now in the 85th minute. Here's Francois, space to work with. Slides it over to Davila. Davila takes the shot. Looks like it might have been a little bit of a deflection, but goes out of play. It's going to be goal kick. 13 shots in the game now for the Toros compared to 6 for Miami FC. But Miami FC has found the back of the net 3 times. And Dejas out of Chula Vista, California, 27 years old, taking his time on this goal kick. It continues here as one of the Miami players. Looks like Thorne may be shaken up. And now there's a stoppage. So there should be a fair amount of time added on here in second half stoppage like we saw in the first half, with injuries on both sides.
Miami FC is also out of substitutions at this point, so they've got to kind of shake Thorne up, keep him on the pitch. If he has to come off, they'll be playing down one. Rio Grande Valley may have one left.
Yeah, I have them down for one left, Toros. Another look here. There we see Thorne coming off. And it's going to be Miami's throw-in. It looks like Thorne, just coming off for the moment. It looks like he'll be going back onto the pitch. And now he does come back on. Miami's throw-in once more. Segbergs works it in. The Segbergs couldn't get the return pass, and it'll be Toro's ball. Toro's looking for the equalizer with minutes slipping away. We're in the 88th minute now. Francois unable to control that one. It'll be a throw in here for Miami FC. Long pass goes to Telfer. Telfer with the game-winning goal right now. Pass inside, headed out by Pimentel. And Toro's back on the attack. They'll be pushing numbers forward, looking for the equalizer here at HEB Park. Francois able to get turned, find some space. Slip it to Coronado, and they get it over to the left side. This is Ritondoli with it. Got 3 players at the top of the box right now. There's Akwe. Akwe mishandles it, and then it's kicked out of bounds by a sliding Stanley.
Looked like as they're sliding down, Akwe falls and lands on Stanley. And a look right here. Stanley comes in with that sliding tackle. Yeah, indeed, Akwe's entire body weight just lands right on the head of Stanley.
Stanley's shaking up now. Stanley quite versatile at his defensive spot. Leads the team in interceptions and fouls won. And is also among not only the team leader, but among the league leaders in terms of crosses. He's never afraid to push that ball up and then send it into the box. The 90th minute now. We're still waiting to see how much stoppage time will be added.
This may take a moment. They're going to want to look pretty carefully at the head and neck of Stanley there because he took a pretty good shot.
Yeah, took the full weight of Akwe as Akwe lost his balance and fell on top of him. It's off the pitch right at the moment. As you can see, Akwe throws it in right in front of Stanley.
Looks like we're going to get 9 minutes of stoppage time added as we approach the 90th minute here.
Saw a shot from way downtown there by Kinsner. Went over the bar. There we go, 9 minutes to be added. The fourth official conversing with Coach Bullis, second-year coach for Miami. And Miami FC has 9 long minutes to try to get their first road win of the year. And the Toros have that much time to try to avoid what would become their 4th loss at home.
Hey, recall Rio Grande Valley had a 2-0 lead over New Mexico headed into stoppage time, and in 5 minutes of stoppage time, Mexico United ended up picking up both goals to pull that one level at 2-2. So anything can happen in stoppage time, and 9 minutes is quite a bit to add on.
There's Francois trying to get turned, marked closely by Thorne. And then Francois' pass, I think he thought Ritondole was going to be running into space, and it'll go out. It'll be a turnover. Notice they have a different marker on Francois. Before Chapman Page had his hands full trying to keep up with Francois. They've now got Thorne on him. Again, Zendejas. maximizing the use of his time on the goal kick. Miami winning possession there at the midfield. There's Stanley, forced to get rid of it quickly. Pimentel will play it back into his keeper. Oh, here's a good chance for Miami FC. They get the turnover here after a short clearance there by the keeper. Ritondoli chasing after this one. And his pass intercepted by Segbers. Good anticipation there. And Miami FC trying to add some insurance here. Goes out of play. They're going to say actually last touched by Segbers and be a goal kick. Third minute of stoppage here in the second half at HEB Park. Toros need an equalizer. Akwe. Slide it forward. I think he thought Ritondoli running onto that. Sorto with the intercept. And Sorto content to send it deep. Too far for Murphy. Murphy with a goal and an assist tonight. Former Toro has done well against his former club. That was intended for Sorto, too high. And the Toros will have a throw in here in the attacking third. Coronado to Davila. Now to Darce from Havana, Cuba. Slide it his teammate Cabrera, who's from Colombia. Going to move in, gives it back to Darce. Now Francois goes in front where it's cleared out by Chapman Page. Akwe was standing right behind him. Would have put that home if Chapman Page had not been able to clear it. Play continues here as a Miami player goes down. Ritondole will send this into the box. Headed across, not out of danger yet, as Segbers gets a touch on it. Coronado back with it. Miami players now up. This ball comes loose. A save made there by Zendejas. Akwe got a shot from point blank, but Zendejas able to stuff it here in the 4th minute of stoppage.
That might be one of the best saves you're going to see all year. Zendejas standing tall. Took the best Akwe had to offer on a bouncing ball loose in the box. Is able to send it away. Take a look at this right here. It slips through. Akwe has a pretty good spot. Zendejas there first.
They're going to make a substitution now. Kyle Murphy looks like he'll come out for Miami FC, and Michael Salazar will come in, another forward.
Salazar, the third of the 3 former Toros on this Miami FC roster.
You can see Sorto in the background there, number 99, and Salazar in your foreground.
Got a couple players down. Murphy back to his feet as he's checking out. There's a Toro down as well. In settle.
You see Murphy coming off, had the penalty kick in the 4th minute of the game, then assisted on the game tying goal that Repetto scored. Then Telfer put Miami ahead in the 78th minute, trying to hold on here. Now we had 9 minutes added, but we've had an injury just now here in stoppage. That might add some more time. So we see Settle trying to jog this off. Settle, by the way, got his first start here tonight, his 9th appearance, as this ball comes loose, and Zendejas able to come and grab that one just ahead of Francois. Miami FC dodging a couple of bullets here in the stoppage time. Now entering the 7th minute of stoppage. Toros pour it on once more. Ahead to Francois. This is onside. They've got numbers in the box. Francois charging in. Centers the ball. Goes to Akwe. He shoots. He scores! Akwe has tied it up. 3-3. Wow.
Akwe, after being point blank, gets a second point blank opportunity. This time he finishes in stoppage time. And that is a huge moment for Rio Grande Valley, digging deep. backs against the wall, and they get a huge goal to try to salvage a draw here. About 3 minutes of stoppage time left.
Crowd really getting into it. They appreciate the Toros making the effort, not giving up. 97th minute, Akwe with his second point-blank opportunity of stoppage gets his first goal of the year. And we're tied at 3. And still time for one more. I think both teams have that in the back of their minds. It's going to be a free kick here for Miami. They quickly get a restart. Not much time left, maybe 2 minutes and a little bit of change. Three our score. What a topsy-turvy game we've had. Both teams have had the lead. Both teams, of course, have trailed. And now we're tied. Both teams looking for a game winner now. Thorne slides it to Segbers. Three goals, the most the Toros have scored in a game this year. They had 3 against San Diego Loyal. That was on the road. That's the most they've scored at home. Dendejas coming way out for this one. Francois was charging on to that. Maybe 1 minute and change left here at HEB Park. Thorne able to run onto that one. Tipping that ahead for Akwe. Akwe coming up from his defender spot to join the attacks at opportune times. That paid off here in stoppage. And we're tied at 3. Another opportunity here for Miami FC. Could be the last one. Repetto moves into the box. He shoots in front. It goes off the crossbar. A point-blank opportunity for Miami FC. And we're still tied at 3 after Salazar unable to get the touch onto the net.
Repetto, a nice touch here.
And here's Francois now with the counter. Not done yet. Nice little turnaround there for Cabrera. Cabrera goes down. Play continues. We're past 9 minutes now.
Like the 4th of July here at HEB Park. Fireworks everywhere.
Barely slided ahead for Salazar. And save made there by Marancio. And charging out was not going to give Salazar another chance. And there's Francois. It is just end-to-end action here. Both teams are gassed. Both teams trying to pour it on for one last attack. It's Francois trying to find a little bit of space. Wanted Akwe there, but it was behind him and cleared out by Chapman Page. This could be the last attack right here. We're almost 10 minutes into stoppage. Bisorto goes ahead for Repetto. Italian with time finds Cabral. We're past 10 minutes now. Chapman Page with it. Slides it forward inside. Repetto is knocked down, and this is going to be a free kick here in the dying seconds of the game.
And for the Toros, that's a free kick in perhaps the worst spot you can imagine in these closing moments. That is going to be point blank, dead on, almost centered in front of the net.
Boy, both of these teams just in a slugfest here tonight.
Talk about testing your mettle. No, Darce perhaps just a little bit too aggressive there on Kyle Murphy.
Well, this will be from about 24 yards out. And likely will be the last kick of the match. We're past 10 minutes of stoppage. You see the Toros hitting up 5 men in the wall. They have 2 others that are just out off the wall a little bit. Amasio's right in the middle of his goal. It's a tough spot for him. Kind of shading to his right a little bit. Sorto to take the kick. There it is. Bounces off the wall. And that's going to be it. That's going to be it. We're tied at 3. The teams will share the points. I'm sure a little bit of disappointment, a little bit of happiness on both sides, and a hard-fought, entertaining 3-3 affair. Brian, who's our man of the match?
You look no further than that final goal for Rio Grande Valley. Waheb Akwe. You want to talk about a huge moment. Your team's down 3-2. You're in stoppage time. You just had a point-blank opportunity taken away from you. The defender comes up and says, "I will not be denied again." Akwe picks up his first goal of the year, and just take a look, beating that past 2 defenders and Zendejas, the keeper, to preserve a 3-3 tie, clutching points from the teeth of defeat.
All right, we're going to take a break. We'll be back with some highlights and stats in just a moment. You're watching USL Championship Soccer on ESPN+.
At HEB, we're inspired by Mexico. The colors, the flavors, and aromas. And we want to share them with you. So we created the HEB Mi Tienda family of products with authentic Mexican flavors, from savory marinated meats, frijoles and queso, to tamales, soft drinks, and more. HEB Mi Tienda brings you the traditional flavors you love. One more reason here, everything's better.
Why choose Lone Star National Bank for your business? Because no other bank does more to support local businesses. In fact, we are the #1 lender in the Valley to small businesses. We put money to work here in our community.
That helps our local businesses grow.
Creating more jobs.
And more opportunities for all of us.
Working together.
Together.
We do what the little banks can't and the big banks won't. Lone Star National Bank, the Valley's bank.
When it comes to our familia, we all have our own flavor and expression. At Tequila de Corralejo, we believe sharing our individuality is what makes gathering together so fun. Here's to those who stand tall and share their passion.
Espinos Tires on FAR 83 has been serving the Valley for over 30 years. We offer a wide assortment of tires, wheels, and auto parts. Let us build your dream vehicle with only $49 down. No credit required.
Did you know when you bank with Lone Star National Bank, you're investing in your community? By creating jobs that stimulate our local economy, creating success that we share with our community. In fact, Lone Star National Bank donates more money and more volunteers to more causes than all other area banks combined. We do what the little banks can't, and the big banks won't. Lone Star National Bank, the Valley's bank.
And welcome back to HEB Park, a 3-3 entertaining draw here tonight in Edinburgh, Texas. And Brian, take us through the highlights.
Plenty of scoring opportunities, especially late in this one. Miami FC gets it started early. See Kyle Murphy here on the penalty kick, slips that one into the lower left corner. That puts Miami FC up 1-0. After that, the Toros started parading their way around the home field. See the pitch is friendly here. Wilmer Andres Cabrera working through the defenders and takes a spectacular strike. Slight deflection, ends up knocking that one in, pulling this one level at 1-1. A couple moments later, Frank Lopez, Gumby style, able to slip that around some defenders, and a whiff on the back line puts the Toros up 2-1. That was all the scoring in the first half, but the second half, things got red hot once again. Repeto, loose ball in the box, is able to fight off a couple defenders, push that one through, ties this one up at 2-2. With the draw intact, Miami FC says they are not done yet. Telfer peels that off of Akwe. One-man wrecking crew right here gives Miami the 3-2 lead. That was going to hold all the way into stoppage time before Wahab Akwe comes up in the closing moments of stoppage time, is able to peel one through. You see Akwe says the home fans, gotta love what I'm doing here. Let's hear it. That goal from Akwe pulls them level at 3-3, and that's where we conclude. These two teams have a draw here at HEB Park.
Akwe's first goal of the year came in the 97th minute. and ties the game at 3 so that the Toros can salvage some points here at home. It is their 6th draw of the year, and for Miami FC, their 7th draw. So Miami FC with 13 points now, and the Toros with 12 points. Both of them didn't really help their cause as much as they would have liked here tonight, but do come away with something. Well, for the Toros, next week they go on the road. They'll be at New Mexico United on Saturday, and meanwhile, the Miami FC returns home next Saturday to take on Loudoun United. Hope you enjoyed tonight's game. A lot of heroics there in the dying moments. And for Brian Smith, I'm Mark May, and our USL Championship broadcast crew. We're saying so long from HEB Park, where the final score is 3-3.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.